25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. How many times have you looked at the news and seen how crazy the world is? I mean, it doesn't have to be national news. It can be right here in your own town. And you say, gosh, isn't there somebody who could maybe write a set of rules or something that maybe we could all live by and maybe just put away all of these bad things that happen to us? And then somebody might say, well, you know, there was a book called the Bible one time that kind of did that. And, oh, yeah, but that's religion. We can't use that to be a guiding document. Obviously, I am tongue-in-cheek-ing you here. It's an honor to have in the studio John Horvat II. He has been on the air with us before, but on the phone, he is the author of Return to Order, From a Frenzied Economy to an Organic Christian Society, Where We've Been, How We Got Here, and Where We Need to Go. The last interview was so good and so short, but he's in the studio today. He has honored us with his presence. He's been on The Blaze, The Christian Post, Fox News, American Thinker, The Wall Street Journal, The Washington Times. It goes on and on and on. And you're the vice, let me see if I have my credentials here for you. I want to say something. It's the, you're the vice president and member of the board of directors for the American Society for the Defense of Tradition, Family, and Property, also known as TFP. I like that. And it all began for you in 1986, the same year I became a father. So.
Oh, well, that's great.
Good morning. Nice to have you in the studio. Thank you for coming.
It's great to be in the studio, actually, and talking with you.
It is really nice. And where's home? Where's home for you?
I live in near York, Pennsylvania, Gettysburg, near Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
And you have family here in Ocala?
I have friends here in Ocala.
Oh, friends. Okay.
And I'm staying with them, and so I said, well, I have to stop by the studio here.
Well, thank you so much for doing that. It's quite an honor. We ask almost everybody who's a phone guest if they're in the area to be in the studio with us. So.
Well, that's great.
What do you think about when you, if the litmus test is the teaching of Jesus, let's say,
right,
and maybe you can expand that to the teachings of the Bible. I think some of the things in the Bible, like in the Old Testament, we've kind of put aside because of the New Testament teachings, and I'm not trying to teach you anything, but it just seems to me that we do have a set of rules that if we live by them, the problem is nobody wants to live by them, or many people don't anyway.
Right. I mean, as I say, we need to return to order, but we really don't need to invent a new order.
There you go. That's absolutely right. Yeah.
And it's an order that's based upon natural law, on our human nature. It's valid for all times and all peoples. You know, one set of rules doesn't apply to one set of people, and another set to the other side. You don't steal. You don't lie. You don't kill other people. These are the Ten Commandments are very basic. It's not just for Christians, not just for religious people. It's for everybody. Yeah.
You know, there was a thing in the news this morning. The Pope spoke, I guess, yesterday. Where did he speak? In New York?
Yes.
Wherever he spoke. And he said something to the effect of, abide by the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Right, right.
And the people who are against abortion said that includes people who are just conceived.
Right.
Other people said no. He meant people who've been born. So even with that, there's people can't agree.
Right. I know it should be very basic, but it's not. They do try to interpret or try to spin it according to their own convenience, because it's so much easier not to think about other people, not to deal with other people, and to only think about oneself. So you know, the spin is just. It's part of our human nature as well to spin things and to not do what we should do.
Do you ever get tired of this? I get tired of this. I'm going to share notes with you a little bit. I get tired of this because I think Robert and I have tried forever to try to make sense from what we think makes sense. And it's almost getting to the point now where I'm feeling like, you know what, I was a fool to ever think I could change the world. All I can really do is change my own world and live my own life. You know, but at the same time, you feel a responsibility when you have a microphone, or in your case, a talent for writing.
Right. No, and you know, the media gives the impression that, you know, well, everything's against you. I'm the only one, and this kind of thing. But when you really come down to it, and you start talking to people, you're not the only one. You know, there's so many other people who do think like you, and so we do need to get together. We do need to actually unite with others, and we have a responsibility to others. We just can't think about our own selves, we'll eventually hurt others if we do that. We have to think about others.
Why do people close their eyes to history and keep doing the same thing to hurt other people over and over?
Yeah, that is sort of the tragedy of our human existence. We have good sides, but we also have that bad side that wants to get out of doing our responsibilities and our duties, and it's part of what was called our fallen nature. Our fallen nature tends to go towards sin, tends to go towards has some attractions toward evil, but we also have the other side that is attracted toward good, the true, the beautiful, the things that are so important in our lives.
Right. In the book that you have written, is this the newest book, or is there another one that you're working on?
No, this is for now. This is it, but I'm definitely looking at other things.
I wasn't sure. I thought I read somewhere that you were working on another one. I wasn't sure if it was done yet. So, in Return to Order, are you suggesting that our laws need to be tweaked, need to be changed, or need to be undone in some cases? Mm-hmm.
Well, definitely the laws are. We do have laws that are problematic. The abortion laws, all these other laws that we would definitely are sources of disorder. But of course, laws are only one aspect of life. It's people's lives need to change. People's mentalities need to change. The culture needs to change. Right. To change just the law without changing the culture really probably won't work, because people are so used to doing something that is so contrary to the law or contrary to order. Yeah. You have to change the culture. The best way is to change the culture. The laws will follow right behind.
But it seems that people bend over backwards for quote-unquote guests, because now instead of saying a Christmas season, all of the stores have to say holiday season.
Right. I mean, no, we have to be active in that as well. I mean, Walmart was doing that before, the largest retailer, and now they've switched back, saying no, we are saying Christmas, because there were so many people who did protest and did complain, and it's good that we do. I mean, I think we need to speak up, otherwise it will be just holiday season.
What is the biggest observation you're making in the United States right now? The world is a different picture. I mean, we can talk about ISIS, and I don't think anybody's going to agree that ISIS is the right way to go. Well, there will be some, but most listeners won't.
Right.
Hopefully. but as far as in the context of what the United States is, what do you think is our biggest issue right now?
That's a good question. I think we're at a sort of crossroads. We are a polarized nation, and
what do you think about the refugees or the illegal immigrant situation? What should we do?
I mean, I'm not against immigration as such, because we are a nation of immigrants, but immigration has to be balanced. It has to be something that doesn't overwhelm the culture. It can't. Immigration is an issue that. You can't just, if you put too many immigrants into a place, they start determining the policy, and they're not really capable of doing it. They haven't lived here. It's not really a just situation to force upon a culture an inordinate number of immigrants. And above all, immigration should be about integration and not just having people come. They have to integrate into our culture, because it's our culture after all.
And the United States welcomes all immigrants, but they want the people that come into this country to come in and follow the rules of entering the country, because all of these past centuries, everybody did that, and now people are not respecting the
and
United
now the liberals
States.
finish saying, well, let's have diversity. Let's let them be another culture inside a culture, and you don't have a nation that way. You divide a nation that way. You don't unite a nation. A nation should be united.
Being from Pennsylvania, are you familiar with the Pennsylvania Dutch? Are you familiar with the Amish?
Oh yes.
Yeah, and have you been part of that culture?
Well, I see the Amish on the streets.
So I'm wondering if they. So I guess we have to break right now. We'll take a break and be right back. But I'm most curious how they manage to keep the world out of their world.
Right.
Which they don't always do it. Obviously, they've had. There are times when people broke in, so to speak. John Horvat II in the studio with us. Return to Order is his book, and we'll return in just a minute.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For today, a mix of clouds and sunshine with a thunderstorm around from late morning on, the high 86 to 90. Then partly cloudy tonight. There may be a shower or thunderstorm in spots near the coast, the low tonight 70 to 74. For tomorrow, partly sunny skies with a thunderstorm mainly during the afternoon hours over the interior, the high 86 to 90. Sunday, more clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm around in the afternoon, high 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Career Source Citrus Levy Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source Citrus Levy Marion and learn how they can help you.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 840-0750. That's 840-0750.
Located next door to Silver Spring State Park and a few minutes from historic downtown Ocala, our award-winning Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites of Silver Springs is a place to stay for a friendly, memorable, and fun experience. Enjoy our fast and free Wi-Fi, complimentary hot breakfast, and free parking. Whether you're in town for work or play, our friendly staff will make you feel right at home. That's the Holiday Inn Express and Suites of Silver Springs, proud sponsor of Friday night Marion County High School football on WOCA, The Source.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
A 10 to 20-minute nap pays off the most. Any longer, and your body falls into deep stages of sleep, making you groggy when you wake up. Take Sam's Club, for example. They're so confident that drones will be the hot holiday gift that they're stocking a dozen different kinds, from basic models to ones that come equipped with high-res cameras or the ability to pick up small objects. Things we watch on TV can absolutely directly impact our mood.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
All right, 12 minutes before 10 o'clock. The one thing I always have a hard time with is when there's a government agency that says we can't have the 10 Commandments posted because those are religious principles. And you think, hello, doesn't the law say it's against the law to kill somebody, you know? Of course, it doesn't say it's against the law to covet your neighbor's wife or something, whatever it says. I don't even know. I can't even recite the 10 Commandments. But I've always thought that the whole purpose of the teachings of Jesus, the teachings of Moses, and all the good ones in between was simply so that we would have a happier life. We'd be happier people.
Right. I mean, if you follow the 10 Commandments, you will have a happier life. You will have a more orderly life, and and people will get along. I mean, that's also very important. The rules for getting along in society. Yeah. You can't have people stealing from others. You can't have people lying to others. It's common sense.
But because they're associated with a religious figure and with a religious book, people who are just opposed to religion don't want to have anything to do with it. The conversation I had with an atheist one time was this. I said, listening to what you say, you do believe in Jesus. He says, no, I don't. I'm an atheist. And I said, well, let me rephrase it. You believe as Jesus. You believe the same things he believed. So I don't understand what the big issue is.
And they treat religion as if it's some kind of poison that's against the common good or against helping people, and it's actually the opposite. It's a medicine that would really actually help, but you just can't get it through them. There was a book actually cited in Return to Order that by a gentleman who went through the laws of the country and went through each of the 10 Commandments, and he says, well, this is how the 10 Commandments are reflected in our state and federal laws. It's in our laws. The 10 Commandments are there.
Even the covet parts?
Even the coveted parts, yeah.
Because coveting could lead to stealing. Maybe that's what it's about.
Right, yeah,
or to adultery or something.
Right, exactly. I mean, there are parts in there that deal with that. So it's it's interesting that in the set of our laws, we could find the Ten Commandments pretty easily.
That is pretty interesting. Isn't it?
As an economist, you had to do a lot of research.
Yes.
How did you manage to begin the research?
I just started looking at questions. What is money? How does money work? How is it backed? All these kind of things, and you just sort of went from one issue to another. It wasn't a sort of a agenda that I figured out in the beginning. So I have to find out all these kind of things. So I did have some kind of agenda, but it was just sort of going from one issue to another and finding very topics that I never imagined existed, and I was just very happy to do that. It was a very enjoyable experience,
So help me out with that part of this, because I don't know that I understand this part. I don't know what Jesus taught or what other religious figures may have taught about economy.
Well, I mean, the economist, the modern economy is just basically made up of formulas, number crunching, and John Keynes, who is one of the big modern economists.
Right.
But originally, economy, the first economist was Adam Smith. Adam Smith wrote the book about the economy and wealth of nations. And he's considered the father of modern economy, and that's when economists actually took the name. But he wasn't an economist; he was a moral philosopher. So economy in the beginning was connected to moral principles, and he definitely made that connection. What modern economy has done is sort of taken it and separated, and as time has gone on, it's more and more separate.
Right.
So economy has its basis in moral principles, and that's where it should be.
Before the break, I was going to ask you about the Amish folks and how they managed to hold on to their lifestyle and not let society impose itself upon them.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the answer there?
I don't know. They have their own problems. It's not a paradise inside in Lancaster in that area where it's very very Amish. They have their own problems. They have their issues with their youth, that they're even I think drug problems and things of that nature. So they're not entirely exempt from that. But of course, I think a strong family life is something that it really helps in any conditions to hold people to their moral values and religion.
Do you think the country itself in the United States is really trying to hold people back by always referring to the past, because women have made great strides, yet they're saying that women haven't made great strides. They say there's still a conflict between the races, which I don't think so. I think everybody's really starting to get along really well. But you always have the people that always continue to bring up the past.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it is. The left, many of them are leftists and Marxists. Marx believes in the idea of class struggle. So the idea is, well, try to find classes that will clash, because that's part of our philosophy. Well, if we don't have a class struggle, we will not have a leftist revolution. So they're always looking for opportunities to take differences that exist and try to create a clash. It's part of their philosophy. They don't want to resolve the problem, really.
So exactly. A class conflict that comes up a lot is the difference between what the upper earners make and what the average worker makes.
Right. Yeah.
And the solution in many people's minds is to simply give handouts. And what do you think about that? And what do you think about that whole thing, the whole Occupy Wall Street thing?
Right, yeah. It's, the 1%, it's just out there. Well, I mean, this is a class struggle thing as well. It just exaggerates something that it does exist. There does exist income inequality, but of course it doesn't. You don't resolve it by taking the money from the rich and giving to the poor. That only depresses the economy. The Occupy Wall Street movement. It was a movement that was so anarchical that they just couldn't get their act together, and they pretty much disintegrated. I was there actually in New York and watched them. And
my!
It was just. You just didn't know what would come up. When you went to the street there were just every possible different type of leftists and communists and socialists and anarchists.
Trying to listen to the arguments and trying to be respectful of other intelligent people who happen to disagree with me. I was wondering how they would solve the problem if you were to, for example, tax the corporations even more, and if under their opinion, their own opinions, that corporations are greedy. I wouldn't disagree with that, but I think greedy is maybe, it's okay word, but probably the better word is profit motivated, so they're motivated for profit. So whether you call it greedy or profit motivated, what's going to happen is they'll trickle it down. They'll add prices to everything else underneath.
Absolutely.
And the poor person, once again, is the one carrying the burden.
Always that way, yeah. I mean, the 1%, I read an article some time ago saying, well, I support the 1%. And the 1% are those who actually receive the federal minimum wage. It's not a huge amount of people who receive the federal minimum wage. And I said, well, I support the federal, that entry-level job because I did that when I was young, when I was in college.
Everybody has.
I worked for $2.15 an hour, and it was I couldn't make a living off of it, but it sure helped me pay for my college and helped me,
get your first car, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we need those level jobs, and we need those entry level jobs to help people to get to other jobs.
And the people do need to have the upper earners because they're the ones that create the jobs. They own this whole mall complex,
right.
So they own it, but then other businesses come into it so they can make money from the people.
Right, and they take a lot of risk and responsibility by doing so.
So, are you doing a book signing anywhere? Any personal appearances?
I will be I'm just staying with some friends, and we'll be getting together with the friends to just do a book signing here in Ocala. So that's
really. And do you have a date set up yet? Or?
It's tonight.
Oh, it's tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But if anyone's interested, I do have a phone number if you want to try to.
Okay.
And that is 786.
786.
554.
Okay, 554.
1300.
And where is it going to be?
It's at a residence just off I-75.
Okay, so it's
at a
private.
residence.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
so
wow.
It's just we're just getting together with some friends, but if anyone
and you're inviting the public?
Well, if anyone wants, just call them, and they'll give the instructions and see if we could. I don't know how much room we have there, but we'll just we'll see what we can do.
Let me take a phone call real quickly. So, in other words, if you want to go meet John Horvat II this evening, what time are you guys getting together?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock,
yeah.
And call the number to get the address and all that. 786 554 1300. Good morning. You're on the air with John Horvat II.
Hi, good morning. It's Beth. When I was watching the Pope address Congress, he made reference to, although I think he was talking on a worldwide scale, but he was talking about the unfair distribution of wealth, how some have so much and most have so little.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, and I probably shouldn't have given my name before I said this, but I was thinking, wow, you're looking at a lot of them right now.
Right.
Yeah, but it's true. They make such an unfair amount of money compared to the people they're supposedly representing,
Right, I mean, a real economy should be a balanced economy, and I think you can't have an economy where just everybody earns a minimal wage or a very small wage, because you'll never really get an economy going. So you need both the small, the medium, and the large owners who are able to use their abilities, their God-given abilities, to generate wealth and help other people. Obviously, there are people who are not virtuous, or people who are, just really want to make money, or greedy people. We always have had that problem, and we always will have that problem. And we should obviously work to help make that problem less. But the ideal economy must have all types of people, and people of all types of abilities and talents, because they were given to us by God, and we need to take advantage of them.
And in this country, at least, we do have the opportunity to better ourselves. It's not easy, but the opportunity is there where other countries don't even give you the opportunity, which is why we have so many immigrants.
That's true.
That's right. True. John, good to see you. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to be with us in the studio. It's an honor. John Horvat II, the author of return to order. You've seen them. You've read them in the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Times. You've seen it on the Blaze, and you're giving away a copy of the book.
Yes.
Plus, you can meet and sign, have a book signed. Go call 786-554-1300 to find out where the book signing is at a private residence this evening at 6. And I'll take a phone call and we'll give away the book. Good morning. It's yours, but I got to take the call off the air. Okay. This is WOCA Ocala. We'll be right back.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Lillian Wu. He invited the Pope to the U.S. and the Pope accepted. Now Fox News has confirmed that House Speaker John Boehner will resign from Congress and give up his seat at the end of October, according to aides in his office. At the United Nations,